Hi sweet people, today's video is actually on how I make these brownies, and it's a very fudgy and moist brownie. So if you want to know how I make this, then just keep on watching. You'll need chocolate chips, butter, sugar, cocoa powder, brown sugar, salt, flour, vanilla essence, and some eggs. You'll need a mixing bowl to add in the chocolate chips. You can just add in one cup first, then the rest you can add in later. So you just need to add in the butter, all of it, and microwave it for a few minutes, and then you need to let it rest first before you start mixing and combining it to a chocolate sauce kind of. And then once fully combined, then you can start to add in the other ingredients. Once it's combined, you can add in the sugar and then start mixing. Next one, you can add in the brown sugar. So my white sugar, I had a bit lesser than the required ingredients, so I add in all of my sugar that I had, and then I covered it with the brown sugar. So I added more brown sugar to cover up the less white sugar there. This is a one bowl recipe, but because of the bowl that I used initially, it was smaller and it wouldn't be enough, so actually changing the bowl and adding in a big bowl. So I'm just adding in everything to the big bowl so that you can add in all the other ingredients afterwards. So just need to use the mixer to beat for bit, so that I saw some video that actually tells you that beating the brownie a bit more actually gives you a more fluffy, like instead of a brownie becoming flat, it becomes a bit more like it has a bit more of a volume, like a height. So you just need to beat it a bit more than just mixing it using your hands. But of course, it's up to the individual on how you like it. I like it more to be a bit a bit more moist and like a volume instead of being flat. So it's more like a fudge bar kind of, but this is not. It's more like a brownie which has a bit of height to it. So you just need to carry on mixing for a bit after adding the eggs, and then the next you can put in the flour. So I'm sieving the flour and adding it in. Next, you can sieve the cocoa powder. So the cocoa powder I'm using is actually a very dark Dutch processed cocoa powder, if I'm not wrong. So it's darker than the usual cocoa powder, which I like it like that. But normally when you mix stuff with this cocoa powder, it tends to be darker. So just need to mix all of the ingredients to combine. And once it's fully combined, then you can go on to add in the next ingredient. Just using the mixer again to beat again to fully incorporate the ingredients, then you can add in your salt and vanilla essence. And the mixture looks actually very nice after using the mixer, because it looks fully fully combined, and it looks very pretty. So it's like you can eat the batter instead of baking it, but of course don't do that. Here is where you need to add the balanced chocolate chips, and then you can mix it together so that when you're baking later, it actually kind of have a bit of chocolate chips melted inside. So it's a nice kind of like moist and fudgy kind of brownie, which I really like this recipe a lot. So this is like a few times I've made it. Once everything is fully combined, then the next is you just need to prepare your pan, grease it, and just add in the batter and prepare it for baking. So here the batter really looks super good. Just using a squarish pan here, and then putting in some baking paper so that the brownie will be easier to remove later. And then you can grease it and then add in the brownie batter and prepare to bake it. The batter is really thick, so you just need to make sure that it's all fully, it's fully equal everywhere, all around the pan. And then just make sure that your oven is hot enough, and then you can put it in to continue the baking. Just going into the oven to bake for around 35 to 40 minutes, and of course you can remove it at 35 minutes to check whether it's done using a toothpick or anything, and then just check if it's fully done. So this actually, the top was very crispy. It was a bit different the second time I made it. I'm not sure what happened, but actually I prefer it like this. So it was actually quite nice, and then it cracks some parts. So the cutting was a bit tough because some parts is cracked, so it won't be a square. So make sure that you fully allow it to cool before you cut it. If not, that's what happens. So this part, it was not really fully cool, although it was I was too excited to eat it. So just ensure that it's fully cool before you do the cutting and removing it from the pan. If not, it will be like a bit of, it won't be so equal, and then you will have a lot of cracks everywhere. And then you can get ready to eat it, and of course you can eat it plainly and serve it with ice cream if you want. So usually I love to keep brownies in the fridge because I can't eat it everything in one sitting. So definitely I will put it in the microwave for a few seconds and then eat it, because that's where you feel like it's still hot, and then it becomes a nicer texture to eat it, because it's like fudgy and moist, and instead of being in the fridge because it will be cold. So just enjoy, add in your favorite toppings and everything like that. So that's all, guys. If you really like the video, do like and subscribe, and see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.
She likes chocolate covered strawberries and wine. She likes notes that say I love you all the time. Roses at your